So now I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit more abstract. I use in order to achieve things or get to experiences that I wanted for myself. And I haven't done that just by putting down step by step mini goals or something, but by envisioning the experience that I wanted and writing out the feelings of having that experience. So I would put myself mentally in that space where I would be having that experience and write out the feelings that would come from being in that place. And then you could say months later, half a year later, the things that I wrote down, that I journaled, that I wanted as an experience, they all came true. But maybe some things didn't come true. I'm not 100% sure, but like I look into my journal sometimes and I'm surprised because the things that I wrote down did happen. And back then it seemed like almost like a big thing to me. I would write something out and well, it seems like a huge thing to ask or to go towards. But I wrote them down, I felt it, and it almost seems without planning. I just took actions, whatever I thought in that moment I had to go do. And I would find myself in that place or in those experiences that I wrote out. So I think it's not just taking action. Because, yeah, you could think everything is action, but I don't think that's true. I think, from my experience, a big part in what we experience or want to experience or get to experience comes from emotions that we had beforehand. So we could also get going back. Everything that we created or wanted to experience and experienced came because of a thought before, right? We said like, oh, I want to do this. But it's not just the technical, practical thing of, hey, I'm thinking, no, I'm taking actions, and it's simple. But it's something you can put a high vision, high goal out, and for some reason you just go in that direction. You're just taking the action that's necessary to get there, and you find yourself there. And it can be through 2-3 corners. You meet one person, that person introduces you to another person, suddenly like you're closer to where you wanted to be, or you get to experience what you wanted to experience. And those are things that cannot be planned. You cannot plan to suddenly meet someone that would get you closer to where you want to go. So those are, you could say, orchestrated events, which I think only happens because you felt into the experience that you wanted to experience. And I have many moments where I had that, where I was like, oh, I feel the feeling of something that I wanted. And it just came true. So it's a little bit abstract, but it's something I saw working for myself. We think we kind of disconnected from reality, and I think we're more connected than we think we actually are. So we're actually way more connected to reality and feeling into experiences that we don't have yet, or feeling into a vision that we want for ourselves or something that we envisioned tends to come true when we feel into the feeling of what it's like to have that experience. And that doesn't mean like you just sit around afterwards and do nothing, but all the actions you're taking seem almost effortless, and you do like hundreds of actions, or you're spending a lot of time on whatever like you need to do, but it's not something that you have to think about. That seems like difficult, hard work, impossible, whatever. It's something where you just flow towards. And also what gets you there is usually not like a straight path, but you meeting something, you say like you are meeting someone, and then like for some reason you're saying yes to that, and then that person introduces you to another person, and then it's something different. So which means that every experience that we have, even the experience that we're having now, could be very well of what we envisioned before. And I think that's true, because at some point you said you wanted this, what you have right now. At some point you thought about it, you felt it, and that got you where you are right now. You could have also said no or chose something different, but that what you experience now is what you had in your head and had an emotion over. So your emotion guided you to having that what you thought of beforehand. Interesting enough, you can even feel things, feel experiences that you never had before, and get to that experience as well, which is interesting. So you don't have to have what you want in order to feel or know what it's like to have the experience or feel the experience, and then you end up having that experience. So that's what I witnessed. It's not a very how do I put that? A very dry reality that everyone tries to push down everyone's throats as everything is just action taking and that's it. There's nothing else. There's only action taking. When that's not really true. There are emotions that guide us, and what we feel oftentimes becomes something that we get to experience. Now, I've seen results. Just doing it, sitting down, journaling, because I also thought, why just go with whatever happens? Why just be like a leaf? Why just be reactive to whatever the reality becomes? Why not consciously just sit down and pick what I would like to experience? And that's what I did. So I sat down, I wrote things down, I felt into the experience, and those things that I wrote down that I wanted to experience, they came true.